旦那、いたさ。ところで旦那、橋はこの妻、そこでアシナのそいつが敵方から情報をぜひ。毎度旦那、さあじゃあな、それシシハラさ。死者があるから極よ。死者たち。毎度旦那、毎度さ。毎度ださ。じゃあな、旦那、そいつが。 死者たち。
てやる。これはお屋敷にくらが、そうあちらから外へ出てさすればわかる。はい。ある狼。父。左手霊園から回り込めばお任せ。左でお任せ。 ストムにうわーいやいや我こそは野上剣士国取戦の足なしの一人よせい
狼白いならばあるいは、では
血をもこれを
The demo.
Yeah, some of my favorite stages have yet to be displayed, and I really want to see how people react. And yeah, they really do kind of hit you in a certain way. So
yeah, wait until you guys see some of the stages in this game. It's great. It's great. Over 30 stages in the journey mode, and there will be a lot to play and get excited about. A lot of great music too.
All right, CJ, we have a lot of Luminous players in the chat. What is new in Luminous Arise? For sure, I mentioned earlier, this is the first VR-compatible Luminous game for those of you that just want to chill out. If you are someone that likes to play Tetris Effect, for example, in VR and just vibe out. When I play Tetris Effect in VR, I actually slow down and just kind of try to relax, rather than I tend to be known as a competitive Tetris player, right? But VR kind of erases that feeling for me. Yeah, we will have that narrative, as we mentioned, and try to invoke all those emotions in our the story mode equivalent in this game, right? And even as you see in the footage here, each stage has multiple evolutions of the block, right? I think Remastered tends to be known, or I guess the older Luminous games tend to be more of like a 2D kind of look to it, right? Whereas we have all the luxury of the 3D effects and the evolutions phases throughout the stages to evolve these blocks, which I'm also very excited for everyone to see and feel, right?
Yeah, just the visuals and how all of these blocks are just alive. And the more you watch this footage, the more you realize some of the small details that the development team has added. Like as the timeline goes over some of these blocks, like they react in a different way, and each of the different phases per level, like something different happens, and it's just so much detail here to just take in. And oftentimes when you're playing, you don't quite catch it. You have to like watch somebody play to really like see that, oh yeah, each little block is a little bit different and moving in its own way, and reacting to the timeline, going over it, and the music, and yeah, it's just I love it.
And as we see with the burst starting here, it'll allow you to make some even bigger blocks, and the bigger the block, I guess, there's different animations that play within it, right? So if you're a completionist or a diehard player, see how large you can make this block and how crazy the animation of the block within gets as it gets larger, right? So that's gonna be super exciting for our diehard players and for anybody really. I think burst is quite accessible. We'll get into that, explain it a little further, more than usual. In our demo, because I know we are going to have some diehard players in here that want to know more about burst and how that works, right? So, and of course, we're going to have more unique game modes that Luminous has never seen before to be revealed at a later time, including some multiplayer stuff like that, which we're super excited for. But yeah, any final thoughts on what's new? I think we can maybe just hop in the demo, and I know we want to talk a bit about burst more in particular, and CJ, if you have a chance to look at chat. If you guys have any questions, just we'll see if we can answer, whether it's regarding burst or anything Luminous Arise, really.
Sure, I'm seeing one here in the chat from YouTube user Carlos, who says, when will Luminous Arise come out? Fall 2025 is the release date. So PC, PlayStation 5, and PSVR 2, and Steam PC VR if you have a compatible headset. So those are the platforms. Demo comes out in late summer. There's no date for that yet. Let's see. Oh, Doctor from YouTube says, will some of the OST be released when the demo comes out? Stay tuned for that. We have put out a single, Only Human, at the announcement, and there may be some more music coming soon. Will any of the game modes play differently, like faster drop speed for time attack?
Here's one thing: we don't want to. We want to be careful with everything because we want this first experience from you as the player to be super awesome, right? And I think if we spill too many of the beans here, it will dampen your first time experience. But yes, we will have unique ways to play Luminous that I know that sounds very generic, but that you haven't played before, right? So we're super excited to see how the players like you, I know Dex here is probably a pro player in my opinion. I think Dex, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have a 300 squares cleared during a 60-second time attack, which is insane. I think one of the highest out there. So you in particular and players like you, we are going to be super excited for how you approach some of the new mechanics and stuff like that available in Luminous Arise, because you'll have to think in a different way as a Luminous player, right? Excited for how you're during a 60-second time attack, which is insane. Dex here is play Luminous that I know that sounds very beans here. It will dampen your first time experience. But yes, we will have unique ways to play Luminous that I know that sounds very generic, but that you haven't played before, right? So we're super excited to see how the players like you, I know Dex here is probably a pro player in my opinion. I think Dex, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have a 300 squares cleared during a 60-second time attack, which is insane. I think one of the highest out there. So you'll have to think in a different way as it's available. All right. So CJ, we are on stage 2 of the demo. And this one definitely invokes more of a, how do I put it? It's going to be different depending on the person, right? But has more of a darker, more sinister tone, but it does evolve as the stage plays on. And obviously everyone's going to get a different feeling, and that's kind of up to you how you feel when you play each of these stages here, right? But one thing in particular we want to show off here in our limited time is the burst mechanic. So if any players have any questions about burst,
skins can we expect? Over 30 stages in the single player mode.
All right, we can see the chain block dropping here. Has that little D-pad looking effect, right? If you are new to Luminous, and chain blocks can get you out of so many situations. But yes, as you see on the timeline here, we have this max, right? And that's related to our burst. CJ, do you want to get into a little bit on the mechanics surrounding burst and how it plays into the traditional Luminous formula?
Well, as you play, there will be a number above the timeline that goes up as you place blocks, and it'll go from 0 to 100. And any time after it reaches 50, you can invoke burst. But what you really want to do is wait until you have a square formed on the play field before you do that, because once you hit burst, You lock it to the playfield, and you want to try to grow that as much as possible. And it'll with max burst, I believe it's 6 timeline passes that you have to build that up, and it won't clear that locked block or that locked matched square until it's passed over it 6 times. So, as you can see here, Austin has started a burst with now a 53 burst and is kind of adding on to it with that single color. It will continue to clear the opposite color as you're in burst. And then now you're at 0, so it'll finally clear that 129. All right.
Good first burst here. But yeah. Even this in particular, the super speedy players, I'm kind of curious what their max bursts are going to be and stuff like that, right? It's a lot of fun trying to make as big of a square as possible. And as you see, there's different strategies, right? You can even try to keep it cleaner, start from the bottom. I like to even mess up my board a little bit before I start, just to see, because it gets rid of the blocks surrounding it, right? Which if you replay that, you'll kind of see how that works a little bit. When you get to the next tier size of the block, is going to get rid of all the surrounding blocks, right? But yeah, there certainly are going to be some strategies to discover. We don't want to get into it too much, right? I don't want to spill all the beans. It'll be really fun to see how the players kind of figure out how the burst mechanic works, right, and the best way to utilize it. But
yeah, I don't know if people realized the opposite color when you're in burst, those fly away to the top of the screen, and once your burst is cleared, they fall back down. So you really get like a 1-2 punch of awesome combos. Potentially anyway, so you have like a good chance for scoring during that time.
Yeah. Alright, so we got a nice max burst.
Dex is saying it's going to be great to see how far burst can go.
Yes.
I agree. 100%. I am really curious as well.
And I think we'll be in for some surprises too, because think back, Tetris Effect, we kind of had this experience with Zone, right? And then we had the eventual Curbtris, which was added to the game because we kind of went beyond the limits of what we expected with burst or with Zone, right? So I'm kind of curious what players that are already pros of Luminous will kind of find within the mechanics available, right? But okay, so I'm going to try to build a burst now around the fan block, because we got to see a little bit of the opposing block, right, which has evolved as you see throughout the stage into more of a web-like block, sphere block. But the fan looks pretty cool. And
fan is cool.
Maybe we can show that off a little bit. So that might be new to our players here.
Could be.
Yeah.
Doctor and the YouTube chat asking, will there be speed changes like in Tetris Effect? How to answer this? Yes. But there will be ways to, there will be ways to customize how that works for you. Like if you're the type of player that really disliked that in Tetris Effect, you'll be able to alter that, and you'll be able to tune the game more to your style.
This could be good, CJ.
Austin going for a fan burst. Yeah, this is really good so far. Yeah, and watch and see that Austin is like surrounding that initial burst with fan blocks, and that's really the key to growing that.
Ooh, that's my
203 burst.
The following part's my favorite, because all the blocks you okay, let's get out of there. But yeah, all the blocks that you clear from the opposing block during the burst will send to the top of the board, right? So afterwards you get this huge so it kind of helps you continue your combo, and that's actually my favorite part of the burst is the follow-up, right, with the massive terrain. So
yes.
Yeah. So if you are someone that wants to like maintain your combo, keep in the vibe, just bear in mind that following the burst, it kind of makes it easy for you to kind of get back acclimated with your upcoming blocks and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a little preview of the burst mode there. But yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. And of course, we want to keep some things secret about it. So we want you as a player to discover rather than us kind of show you show you the ropes. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that demo coming up later this summer, and we cannot wait to see what some of you top players can come up with. And even the new players have actually kind of stumbled into some large burst combos because it helps you kind of bring your board down and stuff like that. Like I even said, you kind of want your board to be a little bit full to get the biggest burst possible, right? So it's going to be a tool
that almost helps. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a nice tool to help you survive, and on top of that, it just looks awesome. It's very satisfying. So really excited for people to get their hands on Burst in addition to Luminous Arise, right? So
yeah, we have Trashman in the chat on YouTube saying, is it possible to top out while Burst is active?
No.
It is not possible to top out while Burst is active. Yeah, you can pretty much fill everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
you can end it early, I suppose.
You can. Yeah, it will end it. It will end Burst early if you top out, but you can't game over during Burst.
Mm-hmm. All right, good question. But
I
think that's all for our Luminous preview here, or Luminous Arise, excuse me. But yeah, feel free to ask us any questions throughout the remastered session here, and we'll try to get to you. But yeah, I think we're going to hop into Luminous Remastered for a little bit. And if you are brand new to Luminous, this will be, for one, this is a great game to get you acclimated. It's the OG, right? So this is a remaster of the original Luminous, if you want to know where the game started. And yeah, this was also worked on by Mizuguchi, the CEO of Enhance. And yeah, it's just an amazing game. I recommend playing it on, I play it all the time on my Steam Deck. I know you, CJ, like to play it on Switch, or even your Switch 2 now, or the Portal, stuff like that. As this game is kind of known to be, puzzle games in general are just great on the go games, right? But highly recommend. I play remastered all the time on the plane and stuff like that. So let's hop into it for a little bit here, CJ.
Okay, we have a couple other questions. Does the burst depend on the block? So the burst background. Burst background is related to something in the game in each stage. I believe it is the phase that you're in. Determines what that is. And then the block itself depends on what match square you currently have on the screen when you start.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of exploration to do within each stage when it comes to even just using your burst and see what happens, right? So that's going to be a lot of fun to see what players discover that way as well. Yeah, all right. So yeah, we were playing some Luminous Remastered. I guess the base mode generally that people start for the first time, as it's at the top of the UI here, is challenge mode. Kind of walks you through, but you have to try to survive through all the stages here. It goes on for quite a while, so be in for quite a ride if you're trying to complete challenge mode. It might take some practice if you're brand new to the Luminous series. And of course, skin edit. When you unlock stages, you can hop in here, create your own playlist of your favorite tracks and favorite stage skins, right? And if you want to replay them. So here, I'm even going to go through what might be my favorites. Of course, CJ, I have to have Shine in every playlist. It's the truth. But I also like to add, let's see, Shake Your Body is a good one.
So many good songs too.
Hear the music, my soul. One thing I like to do is mix up. Some of the Luminous tracks have different tempos, which changes the gameplay. We'll kind of show that off here momentarily. Take a Dog Out a Walk, probably my favorite stage. I just love how cute this dog looks, so I can't skip it anytime I'm here in the skin edit. Yeah. Let's see. All Day in the Summer sounds nice right now. Sometimes it depends on your mood. I was like, please return my CD. Become. Factor. So I still haven't completed all the puzzles here on Steam. That's one of the harder things to do is complete all of the puzzles. Especially since I play it on a lot of platforms. I play it on PlayStation, Nintendo, and Steam, just to cope a little bit for why I don't have this unlocked here on Steam. But all right. But yeah, and then of course you can kind of play through your 10 tracks, or you can keep it. You can even just do, say, one track and play it on endless, right? So if you want to just vibe out to one song in particular, if you're in a mood for Shine In only, you can do that and play it endlessly. But yeah, let's just hop into challenge mode first. And also, one thing we want to recommend if you're brand new to Luminous, the mission mode will kind of test your way of thinking about Luminous. Think of it as like a soft tutorial mode, right? With some puzzles that you have to kind of think through. Actually, let's just pull one up. So it gives you like scenarios that you have to clear blocks, right? And sometimes when you have to puzzle through these scenarios, it kind of teaches you a little bit about Luminous, right? So what is Luminous, CJ?
Yeah.
You got to make 2x2 squares of the same color.
2x2 squares of the same color. You got to form those, and you can form larger squares, but then it counts up how many 2x2 squares of that color are inside there. That's how you score. And in Luminous Rise, that's how you advance through the game, or advance the stage.
But yeah, it'll like soft teach you some things, right? Because there's usually a cascading effect. There might be other words for it, but or